Welcome back everybody, Dave the Gamer here. Today I wanted to make a quick little guide on my thoughts on the best items to get for Phase 6 for Warlock. And I want to take in consideration of, what is the best items that you want to go after first. So obviously you want everything on this list, and eventually you'll get 13% hit from all the items listed on the screen here. This is I used from Icy Veins. They have a nice little guide on being able to toggle between all the phases. But I wanted to talk about the big differences from the previous phase item to what you can get in Naxx, and which ones you should not loot council, but soft reserve first. So starting at the top, looking at the helm. So with the helm, this helm is very nice. 33 spell power, 1% or 2% crit, 1% hit. This is about an extra 1% crit than the previous Phase 5 helm. So this is something I would probably target a little earlier on. Overall, you're only going to go for the 4-piece set, which is going to unlock being able to give you more damage caused by your corruption, which is even better now that there's not a debuff limit in the anniversary server. So this helps a lot. Your next up would be your neck piece. So the neck piece is overall is a little less spell power than the Phase 5 one out of AQ, but 1% more crit. So that is overall pretty nice to get that low extra crit, really get your shadow bolts rolling. Looking at the shoulders, you get a 1% hit, 36 spell power. These are definitely better than what you get out of Phase 5. Not drastically, though. So this would probably be the last set piece that I would end up going for, because it's not a drastic difference overall. Now the cloak, though, you get 4 less spell power than the one out of AQ, but you gain 1% crit. And pretty much all the pieces have hit on it finally. So this is amazing for warlocks to be able to get to their hit cap, which is 16% overall. So all these phases, they've been struggling, and now you can actually get there and really hit hard with those big shadow bolt crits. Moving on for the chest off the 4 horsemen, you can get the Plague Heart robe, which is a very nice chest. You do gain about 30% spell power and 1% crit, but lose a little bit of hit from the Bloodvine set. So overall, I mean, it's pretty close when you swap out this gear for the Bloodvine set. So like I said, I would get the helm and the shoulders first, realistically, to get the 4 set. So then I can keep the Bloodvine set of the chest feet for a lot longer. So if you look at Phase 5 here, so the Bloodvine chest, you get the leggings and the feet. So those items I would prioritize last, since I just want to use the Bloodvine set until I can get the other items itself. So those are the 2 I would target first. And this chest is actually really nice. Lots of damage, lots of hit. Can't beat it with the crit. The bracers, you're going to use the same bracers, and that's Revered out of the Silithus rep. This is it does cost a lot if you plan on buying your way to Revered, but these are very nice. So you can get them in Phase 5. They're going to carry on over, so it's more than worth it. So the hands, the 37 damage increase with the 1% hit, these are way better than what you're going to get in the other phases as far as that goes. So you're going to carry this over from Phase 5, and I highly recommend making sure you get these hands and waist out of AQ, because they are going to carry over. Both have good spell power. The hands have hit, where the belt has 1% crit. Now the legs, you do gain 13% spell power and 1% crit, but you end up losing that hit bonus that you're going to get from the Bloodvine. So I'm not going to prioritize these. I'd get these towards the tail end when I start replacing all the Bloodvine sets. Now the feet, you do get more damage, but you lose 1% crit overall when you swap to these, and this is part of the Bloodvine set. So like I said, you want to wait before replacing these. These would be more towards the tail end of everything. The rings. Realistically, one of these rings would just be good enough, like the Ring of the Fallen God, because if you look at Phase 5, you still have the Ring of the Unspoken Names. So this is very close overall. A little less spell power, but you gain the crit instead. So I highly recommend just getting one of these rings, if anything, just because it's not that much of a difference. So I wouldn't really be going too hard at it to be able to get to see how the Ring of the Fallen Gods carries over. So not a high priority overall. Now the tier from Blackwing Lair, you're still going to be using for the trinkets. That 2% hit is just phenomenal. Other than that, you can go with some of these different trinkets, which this trinket is amazing, which I would make this a very high priority overall, because you could pop it, get the benefit of the 130% extra or 130 damage extra, and then swap into the Mark of the Champion right before the pull. So then you have high damage plus this rolling for 20 seconds. So this would be a high priority to go after as far as trinket wise. Obviously the staff, everybody wants the epic staff, but this one's going to be very difficult and take a long time for anybody to get their hands on. So in the time being, I would highly recommend going after the main hand. The main hand weapon is actually 23 spell power better and 1% better than phase 5. So this is a huge item to get. And the offhand, not as critical. The phase 5 one is very close in damage. This one's actually only 6 damage overall more, so really not that crazy of an upgrade. The wand though is amazing. So you lose 7 spell power from what you could get in phase 5, but you gain 1% hit, so it's well worth the trade-off as far as that goes, and that's off Patchwork. So to recap, some of the items that I would be targeting as far as a soft reserve as soon as I get into Naxx. So I would really be going after, so the first couple resets, I'd be going for the blade, the wand, the trinket to get the bonus. So those 3 items would be like probably my highest priority. And then I would be getting into getting the helmet, the shoulders, into getting the other 2 pieces of the set to be able to set it off. So like I said, 1, 2, 3 would be main hand, wand, trinket. Those are the 3 I would personally be going after first, especially because a lot more people, as they get their other gears, then they're all going to be going for this trinket, the wand, and the blade. So those are going to be some of the more sought after ones because they're made for all the different caster classes in that sense. And then after I got those 3, then I would be going for the 4-piece for the set to get the more corruption, starting with the helm and shoulders first, and then eventually going into the feet and the legs, which I would replace last because that's when I'm replacing my Bloodline set. Hopefully this was helpful to be able to compare some of the ideas of why I would go towards certain items first and which ones are a bigger upgrade than others coming out of a Q40. As always though, game on.